Hey, what's up, friends? I just wanted to show you real quick that if you're considering getting DFY so that you can record calls this AEP and beyond, this little demo is going to show you how it would work in our system. But before that, I want to explain something. When you sign up for an account with DFY, you're going to actually also be getting an account to a service called Twilio. And Twilio is a service that allows us to make our phone calls from the CRM. It allows us to send text messages. It allows us to send our one ring voicemails so that we can make that connectivity with the consumer. And I want to explain that ahead of time so that you know, as you're watching the demo, when I mention Twilio, it's the service that gets set up with your account. And I wanted to also show you real quick. I'm going to share my screen. So here on the DFY CRM webpage, you're going to see that you can find some more information. But down towards the bottom, we actually go over what the costs are for Twilio. So here, cost for phone and SMS usage, you can see that you're going to be paying basically less than a penny per text. You're going to be paying about a penny and a half for per minute for outbound calls for your ringless voicemail. And you can see that if you want to own local phone numbers, they're $1 a piece, and toll-free phone numbers are $2 a piece. So this is the cost. Most people on average are going to spend $20 to $30 in Twilio cost per month. During AEP, you'll probably see that increase because that's when you're going to be making a lot more outbound communication. But after that, it normally comes back down to about the $20 to $30 per month mark. But I wanted to show you this ahead of time. And now let's get into the actual training so you can see how the call recording feature will work inside DFY. You're going to go to your phone numbers. First place that you want to go and make sure that especially if you have multiple numbers normally, so when we first get you set up and we get your first number set up, we'll turn on call recording. But if you start buying other numbers that you want to use, let's say you're working in other states, every time you buy a new number, you want to and turn on call recording. Okay. So the first place that we're going to go is to the little edit pencil next to the phone number. And when you click on that edit pencil, if this box is not checked, then your calls will not be recorded on this phone line. Okay. So I've seen it before where multiple numbers are purchased and one number is turned on to recording, but the other numbers aren't. And so when a call comes in on the other number, they're like, hey, why didn't my call record? It's for this reason right here. So we're going to cover a couple quick things. On your side, you'll see this call will be recorded for quality assurance. So if you turn this on, anytime somebody makes an inbound call to your Twilio phone number, or anytime you make an outbound call from your Twilio phone number, it will read this message before the call is connected saying this call will be recorded for quality assurance. Now, people have been asking, well, Eric, I think I might want to put a new CMS disclaimer on my audio. Like, can I put it into my call so that it announces that before we start talking? This would be a place where you could do it. It would be a robot reading it, so it would sound robotic, right? This call will be recorded for quality. So if you wanted to read a disclaimer there, I mean, it could be long because the disclaimer is a little bit long. So I don't know if it's the best idea. But it is a consideration if you wanted to. So what I normally do though is because I don't want that message being read for me. This one right here that we're looking at, I hit spacebar 2 times and then I hit update. And when I do that, it will not play any kind of recorded message when they call me on my Twilio number or when I make outbound calls. And so just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know that is available as an option if you want to type in something different. And obviously, if you're going to type in the entire CMS thing in there, test it for yourself. Like give it a call, test it, see what it sounds like, see what you think. It might, like I said, it might be a little bit long in terms of its it's reading of it because it's a robot. Okay. So make sure that all of them are set up that way. Now, the other thing I want to mention is, again, if you weren't aware, when people call you on your Twilio phone number, it does need to forward to a landline or a cell phone or a soft phone. And so that number that you put right here under forward calls to, That's so that when somebody calls you back, so if you're making outbound calls from the CRM and you're just calling down a list of names and somebody calls you back, that call cannot currently be answered inside the CRM. It needs to get forwarded to a landline or a cell phone or another phone that you can answer it on. The cool thing is, though, if they call your Twilio number, even though it gets forwarded to your cell phone, as an example, it's still going to record the call and store it inside the contact. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that here in a second. But I want to make that point clear. Whether you're making outbound calls, when you turn call recording on, whether you make outbound calls from this Twilio number or you receive inbound calls on the Twilio number, both will be automatically recorded and stored inside Twilio. And it'll be attached to your contact. But I'm going to go over a little of a downside regarding that happening. And really the downsides only is if you have lots of text and email communication on top of your phone calls, it'll be harder to find the recorded call. So I'm going to show you a more permanent solution to that. But keep in mind, this is what needs to happen on every phone number. So if I go into every phone number, you'll see my call recording is turned on. I hit spacebar twice in here so that no message is read. And then I set up a number or a phone number that it would get forwarded to in the event that they call that Twilio number. So I'm going to go in all of them. You can see call recording has been turned on all of them. And then if that's set up, you're good to go. Call recording will now happen anytime you make outbound calls from the CRM. And now let's go put it in practice. I'm going to show you. Okay. So if we go in here, and we click the phone to make a call, I'm going to actually connect the call real quick just to show you how it works. There'll be some echo. So that recording should stick into the contact here shortly, because you can see the outbound call was made, and then there's the recording. Now, this is going to record every call connection you make. And for the purpose of CMS and the new guidance and the new rules, it's all going to be stored right here. But as I mentioned before, as emails go out, as emails and text messages like this go out, it's going to be harder to locate that call in the event something happens, right? So somebody, let's say you write business, a couple months later, they place a complaint and you have to go pull your call. Well, you could just end up having to scroll through and keep saying fetch older messages and wait for it to load and keep scrolling through. Or when you make a sale, anytime you make a sale, those are the calls you want to store more long-term. So what I would do is I'd go to the call. Let's imagine this is the call I made a sale on. You can obviously listen to it. Yeah, so it sounds all weird because it was me calling. But over here, you see the little down arrow for download. We'll click download. Pause that. Click the three dots and then click download, and then it'll save. Okay, so on Mac, I'm still getting used to, because normally on Windows, when I go to save something, it gives me a chance sometimes to rename the file that I'm saving. In this case, it just downloads it, just throws it in there. So I'm going to go in here real quick and just rename this Eric test call. Okay, so now that I've saved it, I'm going to go back to the CRM, and under your additional info tab, and again, for those of you who got this prior to the folder organization, you just need to look for your documents field. But in the documents field, you can go ahead and find add files. I'm going to go to downloads. I'm going to go look for Eric's test call. There it is. Open, save. And there it is. So now, if there was ever a complaint that Eric Fierro placed against me and I had to go and pull the call, okay, all I'd have to do was search up Eric Fierro, go into the contact, go to additional info, and there it is under my documents. I'll be able to click it and listen to it. Well, once I click it, I can go ahead again and download it if I need to send this file to CMS or to the insurance companies. Most likely the insurance carriers is where you're going to be sending it, because they're the ones who are going to be notifying you of the complaint. So that way you can download it, send it to them, and they'll have a copy, and you have it stored right there, easy to access. So that's a big reason. Anytime I make a sale is when I'm going to automatically I'll wait for this to happen, go download it, and I'm going to store it in the file separately. So I'm not just going to rely on the Twilio version of it being saved in here. I'm going to actually save it in the CRM apart from Twilio, because once you download it onto your computer, you'll have a recording on your computer. Now, again, then you're going to go into, well, is that, is that legally HIPAA compliant to save the call recording on your computer? Well, once you upload it to the CRM, you can just go delete it off your computer, so there's nothing there. Or again, anytime you make a sale, if you just go and download it and you want to go and purchase space on a HIPAA compliant, there are Google Drives that are HIPAA compliant, and so that you can pay for. But I would just sooner just upload it right into the context of the CRM that's already HIPAA compliant. So you have a HIPAA compliant CRM, why not just upload it into there?